All right, guys. Thank you for coming to the panel. We don't have actual. Well, we did, but my computer crashed. My laptop crashed, so we don't actually have anything to show up there unless someone has a laptop right now that has FL Studio 12. Because I only run 12 right now. I haven't upgraded to 20 yet, but no, it has to be. You can grab it. We can try it out. Oh fuck! All right. Well, thank you guys for showing up. Just for the panel, since we're not gonna have any visuals and whatnot, I was just gonna show you guys how I personally make lo-fi music using FL Studio, which is basically the most simple DAW that you can use for writing music, unless you have like a cheaper sequencer. By the way, my name is Ralph, or I go by Ralphington. I am signed with Game Chops, the video game music remix label, as well as Tiny Waves.
I'm Jenny. I do anime covers in English. I don't really translate them, but I write trans lyrics, which is I take the Japanese and then the English raw translation, and I basically make it sound okay with the syllables, because you can't actually just translate the songs and then sing them, because it just sounds awful. So I just basically write the trans lyrics so it would match up with the original syllables from the song. And that's what I do for 5 years by now on YouTube.
And this is Mike.
I'm Mike. I don't do music. I don't know why I'm here. But
Mental support.
Yeah, Mike.
yeah.
You're like the Pete in Deadpool 2.
What? No, I guess the closest thing I say, I am a photographer who's been doing work with Ralph and Game Chops and Tiny Waves for a few years. I guess audio-wise, I'm a voice actor too. So that's probably as close as I'm going to get to like this stuff. But these two are awesome.
He's familiar with our work, so yeah, I put you here so you can vouch for us.
They're so good. Like, so good. Like, comment, and subscribe, gamers.
Oh no.
Yeah, don't forget to unsub to T-Series, by the way. So yeah, well, besides the fact that I wanted to show you guys how FL Studio works, does anyone actually here have used any sort of DAW at all? Oh, everyone. I'm quitting. But yeah, most of the music that I write is on FL Studio, which I'm working on 12 right now because I'm too lazy to update it. You can literally make, I think, at least in my personal opinion, for lo-fi songs, can be used with any sort of DAW, as long as you know how to use filters. One of the key things that you need to know about making lo-fi music is that literally, again, in my opinion, you can literally make any track that you like, especially the nostalgic one, which fits really well with lo-fi. I guess lo-fiable, if that's a word. It's just a matter of how you would know how to cut off signals or each frequencies. Like, because most lo-fi songs are prominently known for having hip-hop beats, like 3/4 or 5/6, but at the same time, it could be also like slowed down, I don't know, dance beat or whatever. Like a lot of people like the really, really dragging slow beat. But I like to do the whole hip-hop beat once in a while. Sorry, do we have like an aux like input? From my phone.
Always back up your hard drives, kids.
Oh yeah, that's very true. For those who are using free trials, yeah, I started with FL Studio 8, I think, and I never like bought the full thing, so I had to like finish all my projects in like one sitting. My very first like Undertale remix was the Megalovania track, and that was a drum and bass track, and I had to sit down for a full 8 hours just to finish that. Is it there?
You had it all along.
Yeah, what a jerk.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before I play one like track right now, is anyone familiar with the stuff that neither me or her make? Or like, no, we don't know who Ralph is. Shut the fuck up. All right, that's fine. Oh, for the DJ battle last night, did you guys enjoy it?
Who was at the DJ battle last night?
Who won? I don't know who won.
Why? Don't ruin it.
You guys did. Yeah, you're right. You got it right. The audience won.
Andy wants to talk.
What's up?
I have a battery pack.
We got a battery pack. Yeah, I'm at like 79%. I appreciate you, Andy. You're a real MVP.
Let's give it up for Andy, people. Yeah.
In case our battery dies, Andy will save the day. All right. So for those who aren't familiar, me and Jenny. Jenny's all the way from Germany, by the way. She visited me July, August. July, August, right?
I don't know.
It's either June or July, August. She was here for 2 months, and we were able to. I was trying to finish an Animal Crossing EP, and I've always wanted to have her sing in one of my tracks, and we decided to have her sing on one of them, which was the KK Bosa track, which I ended up making into a lo-fi track, which actually fits really well. So I'm just gonna play you guys that right now, and see if you guys like that. All right. I don't hear anything.
What?
Where's the guy? Where'd the guy go?
Behind
Oh, yeah, the audio's not coming out.
You're just not hitting play. You don't have any data, my boy.
I have plenty of data and Wi-Fi signal.
MAGFest.
MAGFest.
Oh, we're gonna wait for that. Yeah, it's streaming right now. Yeah, it's probably gonna be super slow.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's gonna load eventually.
Technical issues are a very regular part of any art form. So, art. Yeah.
Yes.
I think for the most part, everyone is aware. Oh no, more people are showing up. I think for the most part, a lot of people are aware what lo-fi music is and why a lot of people like it. And I think that's one of the beauties about the music is that, for the most part, what I made for like game shops and tiny waves are nothing close to lo-fi tracks. I usually make drum and bass music, dubstep, trap, anime remixes, and video game remixes, but nothing like lo-fi. Is yours working?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't sound like I'm a bad person here.
Attack that.
SoundCloud Best Club.
Can you load up my I'm just referencing. But yeah, but I've known lo-fi style, I think, or maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, around the same time I started making music, because it was really hard to write music when you're like in a mental block, but at the same time, and I'm not trying to make it sound like it's easy, but it's not. But when you're having like a mental block of writing music and you don't know what to make, just fucking make lo-fi. It's the easiest escape you'll ever do.
I can't find it.
You don't know how to spell my how?
No, it's RAFPQZ apostrophe
Oh,
hashtag.
fancy.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Wait.
Stop playing with the ring. Oh, it's playing on your phone, but not on the.
Can you take your case off?
He wants me to take off my protection.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't get the joke.
that's harassment.
Oh yeah. No, you have pause it right there, yeah.
It's gonna be really loud.
No, it's not gonna be loud. All right, so I recreated the instrumental for the lo-fi track. The speed is actually slowed down a little bit, and she's gonna be singing the vocals for the song. Yeah, there's really nothing coming out. Yeah, it is. It's been playing.
Thank you for your patience, gamers.
Yeah, it's all the way up.
That's a pity.
I mean, we're ahead of time, guys, so it's fine.
Yeah, I have no answer to it right
All right, we're just gonna hold it right next to the microphone then.
It'll make it more authentic.
More lo-fi.
It's yeah, it's more lo-fi than
More
what it
lo-fi.
is. Wow, it really is. We'll take a picture of this. It's like very like who's really cool. Like, people actually showed up. I appreciate it.
Right there. I love it. I like Andy.
Right. It's a listening panel. Elevator music. What was it? All right. So basically, you can hear a lot of background sounds, which she actually helped me. We found like this ambient sound pack for nature, which you can add a lot. Which I wanted to try in most of my future projects when it comes to lo-fi is just have a recorder out in public and just record background music, cities, towns, or whatever, the mall, maybe MAGFest because it's loud as fuck here. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, lo-fi is very easy to make, but it's also really hard if you really get into it. A lot of the I think a lot. I'm pretty sure a lot of people here have already like tried making it, but just like some tips that I can share with you guys is. And I'm pretty sure you can do this with all of the DAWs, but what I do in FL Studio is that obviously you'll split all of your sounds into different channels. You don't have to patch any of them together. The key is that you have to make everything sound split from everything, and that has something to do with at least your EQ.
You gotta explain what an EQ is.
What
Equalizer.
is an EQ?
For the most part, you want to keep the bass sounds of the song, but you want to cut out at least some of the mids and the highs, but not everything, especially if you have vocals on the song, because once you put a filter on the vocals and you already cut off your highs and mids or either or, you're not going to hear it anymore. It's just going to sound like a really, really bad telephone call. And like I said, split all the channels. Don't put, like, if your song has like, I don't know, 2 leads or 2 rhythms, don't put them on the same channel. It doesn't work. Or patch it. Don't patch it either. Just put them onto split channels. Put them, have them pan as well. Panning is really, really good for lo-fi music, especially, like I said, if you have like 2 leads or 2 rhythms or chords playing in the song, you can have one of the chords on the left side and one on the right side, or they split in between. That also works really well. And again, we're gonna have like some questions if you guys want. Like, we really like have like no distinct like preparedness for this. I didn't know a lot of you guys are gonna show up. Well, I really like the fact that a lot of you guys like lo-fi music. So, and I sure hope that you also like cover music. So, it is now your turn.
What am I supposed to say, though?
Let's talk about cover music.
Does anyone have questions? Yes.
Yes, go ahead. 12, yes.
Is there any other tools, such as like physical instruments or?
Oh, definitely. If, say for example, guitars. If you're playing a guitar, I would recommend 2 foot pedals. I would use an overdrive and a lub filter. I'm pretty sure there's a lub filter for foot pedals as well. One that has a lot of saturation that you can cut off. If you can cut off a lot of the saturation, that'd be great. Don't put any color on it whatsoever. But the overdrive is the one that you want to patch on through first, because if you use the overdrive and you're starting to cut off a lot of the channels, you're still going to hear a lot of the frequencies that you want, especially the mid to low ones, which you're going to. But what specific instruments were you trying to, like?
So, personally, when I like to get into this,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to bring a lot of like traditional ukulele.
Okay.
Oh.
She just bought a ukulele.
It's a good instrument.
So I used to like the record. I didn't know.
What do you mean, like recording through to the computer or something? I mean, there's 2 ways to do that. You can do like a program to do like the filtering, like I said, or you can do the prehistoric way and just muffle your microphone. Like, it works. You put a hand towel on your microphone, it works. I mean, it sounds dumb, but it works. Like, I feel like when we recorded your vocals for that track that you guys listened to, I think I didn't have to, because oh my God. It took me like, a couple of hours just to figure out what she wanted to do with that vocals. But now that I think about it, if we just put a towel on the microphone, it would have worked. It would have just worked. Again, making lo-fi is really easy, but once you get into it, it gets really, really fucking hard. So
I would say, just typically, you typically want to record as like high quality and as clean as possible, and then kind of go from there. The more data you have to work with, the better you're going to be off at the end.
Yeah.
It's better to have too much than too little. For anyone who's like working with imagery, it's like taking a really small photo and then trying to enlarge it. Never really looks right. The same kind of applies to audio.
but shrinking it works. So I don't know if that answers your question, but all right. Yeah, go ahead.
I think I remember, or read around somewhere with the lo-fi community, they're like, oh man, I love lo-fi, but I wish people didn't have that weird record.
Oh, the
Oh,
vinyl.
yeah,
the vinyl.
Well, yeah, the vinyl sound like they just left the song. What's your take on it?
I love the vinyl sound. It's like white noise to me. To an extent, though, because if the track already has like a huge chunk of filter on it that cuts off a lot of the low sounds, the vinyl can get really prominent to a point where like, wow, you're trying really hard. Like, you don't want that on top of everything. You want it to mix. One of the things that if you're self-conscious about, which I am, if you're self-conscious about the vinyl sound of your track, one way you can do it is in FL Studio. There's a stereo enhancer, which you can split the frequencies to make them wider. So instead of hearing the vinyl sound in the middle of the track, you can automatically split the frequencies from left to right to make it wider, so it doesn't seem like it's within the track, but it's around the track. So, did someone raise any questions? Or
You over there? Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Mm-hmm. Okay. You want me to answer that first, or you want to? Okay. For song structures, at least I guess starting off with processing, is you pick your song, and again, like I said, and again, this is only my personal opinion. It doesn't have to go for everyone, obviously, in the room or to anyone in general, but any track is lo-fiable. Like that's the idea, is that once you run out of things, just lo-fi it, and then you'll have another plethora of songs. You can lo-fi Slipknot.
Hey.
But the at least for core construction or process of creating music, I personally like once you pick the song that you want to turn into lo-fi, in my process at least, is to find a really good beat to it. Because once you find a really good beat to it, that one you can change later on. Because once you've already started doing the process of writing the chords or rewriting them, doing chord progression, leads, doing all the effects and filters and whatnot, the drums is the easiest to change in terms of patterning, because once you've established what you want to do to the track, you can change the speed of the song just by changing the speed of the drums. And again, and for that at least I would recommend kit drums, because they just sound very generic. It's easy to filter because they're raw sounding. But then at the same time, you don't have to do that. Like, there's one track that I did where I chose like a disco kick drum, but I put a lot of damping on it, and it sounds good. It sounds like a towel drum kit, and it sounds really well. But in chord progression, at least, you don't. Here's my answer to that. In the typical chord progression, you don't have to follow any sort of progression, like the A/B thing and whatever. What you need to do is put a it's not a filter, a flanger. Put a flanger on your chords. Don't put any flangers on your leads. Put a flanger on your chords and put a modulation, and that'll just make the if you put enough modulation to the track, to the chords, it'll make it sound off tune. So instead of doing the whole AV thing, it's just off tune. And 90% of the time, all chords in lo-fi is off tune. So I hope that answered your question. I'm sorry, I'm still tired. So.
Real quick, how many people in here actually use a digital audio workstation or make music? Real quick.
Everyone.
All right, that's great. Is there anyone here who's like interested but has heard a lot of the stuff that's been talked about and is like,
that makes no sense
okay.
at all.
All right,
I'm
so-
sorry, guys.
No.
I
I'm
feel
just
bad now.
No, don't feel bad. I'm just saying, if it sounds like a lot,
It's like calling me out.
My point is, if it sounds like a lot, it is, but don't get discouraged.
Yeah,
like,
stop me and ask questions.
Yeah, again, I'm a voice guy, so like music is, I'm still learning, but eventually something will click, and then you're gonna be like, oh, Ralph, actually talk about like advanced shit, like don't be a scrub, and then yeah, it'll all work out. So if you feel overwhelmed, don't worry about it. Everyone starts somewhere. You'll get there.
Yes. Yes. If you have a filter on it, yes. Not just adding like a vinyl isotope on it doesn't I mean, at least in my opinion, doesn't qualify it as a lo-fi, because for the most part, it's all about the filter. A lot of people think that you just put a low-pass filter on it and it's automatically lo-fi. That's not how it works. If you put a lo-fi filter, a low-pass filter on the master, it sounds really bad. Like, you have to put filter on each of your channels, but the isotope is really good though. Thank you for pointing that out. And the isotope is compatible with almost any DAW. So, yeah. It's fucking great. So, yeah.
Throwing a curveball to that.
Oh, shit.
Anything.
Okay.
Sorry.
lo-fi can go, and I like to answer this. I've had someone answer me, question me before. The lo-fi, the best answer I can give you with that, the lowest a lo-fi can go, is like Crystal Castles with chiptune, but like them being bored. That's the best description I can give you. It's just Crystal Castles just being bored of writing music, and it's just really low. Because for the most part, like, if you're kind of, if not a lot of people are familiar with lo-fi stands for low frequency, you can't really go as low as you want. Once you've hit like a certain low, and in a good way, you know the track is already good. If you keep going lower and lower, again, just like putting a vinyl on the track, it's just gonna sound like you're trying really hard, and it's not gonna sound good at all. Like with the vinyl, not every lo-fi track needs a vinyl like playing on it, but some do. Like if you want for that really, really good nostalgia feel, then by ending. If you want to really do that really good hit on the nostalgic part, then by all means.
I have a question.
Oh shit.
Thank you for your support. No. So, what?
Can you put up your phone again? No, go ahead. You can talk.
Oh, so my question is that we've been talking a lot about lo-fi music, but I believe the title of this panel also talks about cover music.
Yes.
Do we know anyone here who might do cover music on YouTube? Jenny?
Does anyone do vocal music at all, or they try to sing? Oh, there we go. We got a couple people. You guys have any questions at all? Because this is her forte. I'm done. So. Mm-hmm. It's nostalgia. That's all it is. You can answer. I think for the most part, because back in those era of like 60s, 70s, 80s, all these prominent recording properties were really, really known. And unfortunately, the what's the nicest word? The majority of the people right now that are into the music are really, really really into the full visual aesthetic of the song. And again, I look like I'm from the South, but I listen to a lot of lo-fi. That's not very, known. If I was really, really into visual aesthetic right now, I'd be wearing like Windows 95 on my shirt right now. But like, it's not required, in my personal opinion. I mean, a lot of people can pull it off, like the visual aesthetic of the whole, statue head and whatnot, but it's not required, really. I mean, for the most part, like Macintosh and stuff like that, they do really well with stuff like that, like vaporwave and shit. But like, for the most part, it's not needed, but it does add I guess like what you said, the marketing property of the whole thing, but not necessarily. I think it's more of how you want to like project the song. And then if you feel like it's because it's to an extent, once you add a lot of like aesthetic to it, it just seems very memey. Like it just becomes a meme at this point. So yeah, I don't know if that answered. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want to add that what are the beats for minutes that don't need more variation of making lo-fi?
Hip hop beats. It doesn't need to be jazzy. 3/4, 5/6, a lot of offbeat sounds as well. So, and like I said, if you want to write if you don't want to use like samples and stuff, and you just want to write your own beat progression, I would personally recommend like just drum kits in general, just the simplest form of drum kits you can find, like raw sounding drum kits. I think FL Studio has like 8 folders of those for free, of like just regular sounding drum kits. And I mean, were you looking for a certain specific sound? Or like I said, you can use any sound to make it lo-fi. You can get disco kick drums and make it still sound low.
With that chill vibe to it?
Hip hop.
Yeah.
I would go for hip hop. Slow hip hop beat from around 80 beats. Any slower than that would probably be okay too. Anything higher than that would be like happy lo-fi, or upbeat. Yeah, yeah. 80 to 95 is like a good range for it. Anything higher than that is just happy. Unless you want it happy, then by all means go for it. So the one in the back with the green shirt, hat. Why did I say shirt?
You're tired, Ralph.
Go ahead.
When you're arranging a lo-fi song, what do you typically start off with? What's rhythm versus melody?
So once I pick a song, I would have to learn the chords for it first, so you know what you're gonna deal with. Once you listen to the chords of a song, like the one I played earlier, you would know how to I guess jump on the music. Once I would say learn the chords and then the beats, like I said, because the beats, as soon as you learn what kind of beats you want to put on it, then later on, once you're like almost close to finishing the whole song, then you can manually change because the drums changes everything. Once you change the drums, it just changes the whole feeling of the song. And like, but as far as like changing chords and changing leads, it doesn't really do much. You can do like a lot of chopping and like inverse and whatnot. But for the most part, if I was to put it on a step, pick a song, learn the chords, because leads are really easy. If there's vocal tracks, look for someone who can do the vocal tracks for you, which, you know, a whole new subject of legalization of your track if you wanted to publish it and actually monetize it. But then at the same time, do the drum tracks first, and you'll know how to like just attack the music yourself. Because once you, like I said, I'm just repeating myself at this point. Once you've learned the drum patterns, that's the easiest way to change it. To change in the song once you're like completely done with it. But to answer your question, chords first. That's all you need, because chords can be changed, and you can still stick. Like most of the lo-fi tracks that I did, I stick with the whole chord progression of the song because it sounds good. It's more distinguishable, if anything else. So, yeah.
Last one, I'll give you a break and go for covering. So when you're going for covering music, I have a hard time even getting started. Like, how do you begin, or even like, what's your process for starting covering a song?
Yes.
So we're talking about vocals right now
Oh,
only.
vocals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing is with vocals, if you're not feeling well mentally, or if you have an artist block, it's not going to turn out well, because you can hear that it's not wanted or that you are not feeling it. And that's the thing with vocals. I don't know if with an artist block if you can still write properly.
No.
No.
But yeah.
I feel like sometimes my blocks come like pretty much the entire damn year.
Yeah, yeah.
I put in 2 notes, I'm like, all right, I'm shit, never mind.
Yeah, that's the thing with YouTube too. That's a whole different thing. Like when you have a YouTube channel, you also have a different type of pressure to deal with, because you feel like you have an audience that has expectations, and you're just constantly trying to create, but you just can't.
Yeah.
And then that just drives you into a whole different type of sadness than, yeah, whatever. But anyways, what I do technically is I finish everything in one day, because I'm not the type of person to stick to a project for more than a day. Because when I'm done with the day, I'm done with everything. I just shut off, and I can't pick the cover back up. That's why I have a bunch of projects that I never touched again, a bunch of projects that sound really bad to me the next day. It's just
There's too many ideas.
yeah, everything that I actually upload is made in a day, because everything that I actually drop will never see the light of
Light of day.
Light of day,
Which
yeah.
is a good practice for a lot of people. If you're having problems with like writing music and it just takes a lot of days, just try finishing it in a day. It might work.
It sounds really bad.
I
but
know.
That's,
It's like a
that's
bad practice, but it works.
But plus also, if you actually finish it in a day and you're actually proud of it and you upload it, it's up there. You can't just like take it down again. That's also a feeling of like pride that you don't want to delete anymore. And that's a whole different thing with YouTube too, because when you, or with SoundCloud or wherever with Spotify, once it's actually up there, it's really hard to delete it again, especially when you have like an audience that already watched it and then you're suddenly taking it off and then you have a bunch of comments that are like, why did you delete that? And then you're the only person that didn't like it, but anyone else thought it was fine. So that's also, but yeah, to answer your question, just I personally do everything in one day because I couldn't do it any other way.
Try it, it might work.
I have really bad motivation like problems.
Working in a single sitting, pardon me, helps a lot in a lot of different ways. A buddy of mine is also a music composer, and for a long time, like you were saying, Ralph, he had like the trial version of FL, so he had to do everything in one sitting, and that taught him to be like unbelievably fast. I watched him do a stream recently of him composing music. I don't know how a man can compose a song that quickly and like in any DAW, let alone FL Studio, but if you want to challenge yourself, definitely kind of put that thought in your mind of like, can I do this in a day, or how far can I get in a day?
It's definitely not a recommendation, but it's something you should definitely try.
Yeah.
You're just being your own boss, technically, which is also a whole thing with freelancing, because freelancing is you're earning your money with this. You need to make a living out of it. That's a whole different.
There's really no
pressure.
rush to it. I guess it's kind of like, it's ironic that you say there's no like time limit for it, but then at the same time, just finish it as fast as you can, but not to a point where you're like rushing it.
There's a thing.
It's just as long as you already know what you want to do with it, it just goes with it. So
it's this, I think it's kind of similar to that concept of if you have a million choices, you'll never do anything, but if you have like one or two choices, you'll do something.
Mm-hmm. No, please.
No, we appreciate it.
People started leaving and they're like, oh, this is not fun. I'm like, yes, it's fine. That's all right.
Jenny, do something.
MAGFest.
MAGFest.
Hey gamers, what's going on?
I'm going to share another track while we think of other things to talk about. Because after this, now you're going to have to talk about her process of how she started. I guess we're going to... oh, you got a question over there. Oh, nice hat.
Oh.
Do you have an ox for it? Or?
Oh. MVP here. Let's
See,
give this guy a hand.
This is why he's wearing the Game Chops hat. So.
Thank you so much.
All right, I appreciate you, my guy.
He knew that we would fuck up.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was here when the fuck up happened.
Oh, there you go.
Dude, thank you so much.
Put it as loud as you can.
Oh my lord.
All right. I haven't started yet. All right, cool. And this is one of the good examples that I said earlier about you can literally lo-fi anything you want. You can literally lo-fi Reese's Puff if you want, like the theme song for Reese's Puff, and you can literally make that into a lo-fi track. This is one of the a good example that I did. As a joke, but it actually turned out good, which is I'm really upset about because I've done this track 4 times already. I don't know why I keep putting myself up to it, but here you go. You playing?
There's a plus right there. Can you not? Oh no. Stop the cringe, please. Thank you.
But that was Megalovania. And you wouldn't expect that to be in a lo-fi song, but I did it anyway. But
Let's give it
again,
up for Ralph. That was a great track, yo. Look, come on.
Spotify. Okay, now it's your turn. Now it's for the cover tracks. Again, like after this, if we still have time, we can keep asking questions about lo-fi and cover music. So take it away.
I mean, does anyone have questions with like anime, like vocal English lyrics, writing stuff? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing with covers to begin with, because a bunch of people are fixated on originals, which is why there's like there's like two sides of people. Some people are really welcoming to covers, and some just they don't want to hear anything else. So like I also think when you're actually a cover artist, it has to do with your own style. So like if you're really into jazz, or if that's your forte or whatever you
Niche.
call it, like Insane in the Rain. That's the saxophone guy that played in the bar thingy.
Really cool guy.
He just does so much cool jazz stuff, and he probably just hears a song and he directly knows how he can turn this into his own thing.
Jazz.
It just has to do with his own style, and like I mean I honestly don't really know how to like answer your question specifically, but I think as a musician you will develop your own style, and you will just get the hang of it yourself to like, I want to turn this into this specific thing, and I will just do it, and you're just gonna be in that I don't know, that mindset that you know what you want, and you're just gonna turn it out to be that way. So like it's just a thing of experience.
Something I've tried in little tracks that I've made that will never see the light of day is using MIDI, and like if you're doing like the like do 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 do, and then just throwing a different instrument on there, you'll be surprised at how like you'll be like, that sounds terrible, or maybe that's not what the sound I want, but that immediately gives me another idea. It's really the thing of like, throw something against the wall and see what sticks. But I find MIDI to be very helpful with that, because it's so easy to just kind of like reconnect things and try different things.
And
I don't know if that'll help, but that's something that
And to add to what she said in terms of that, like you like as soon as you find your own style, to what I can add to that is that once you do find your own style and you're comfortable with that, try other things. Do not I get at least in my personal opinion, do not stick with one style, because
It'll get really boring,
Yeah,
and
stagnant
you'll
so
also
fast.
low-key get more into depression in that sense, because like you don't see anything else. You're just doing the same thing
It's
over
not
and
gonna be
over
fun
again.
anymore.
So yeah.
That's how I discovered making lo-fi, because I was like, I'm tired of making like EDM tracks, and lo-fi is just a good escape to refresh your entire library. It's like I used to have so much like metal and chiptune and anime songs on my library, and now I have almost the same amount of lo-fi songs, because they're great, and because I don't want to stick with one style, and she doesn't stick with one style. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever followed her YouTube channel, but like
Don't do it.
the plus
no,
100
don't
and-
listen to her.
100. What are you at? 130K followers? Like
137
it says
and
a lot.
one, because I got someone to subscribe today actually.
Oh, it says a lot with her style, because it once, like, she does a really good anime covers, like, and I'm not trying to like, throw shade in a lot of them, but like sometimes I can't listen to a lot of cover music
That's
because
the thing with anime music too. I do mashups, which is basically I throw different animes into each other, but it's one instrumental. And because I was really bored of just writing English trans lyrics for animes that I like and openings that are really cool. But like, I also felt like I don't have any variety on my channel. It's just, sure, I really love what I'm doing, and people probably like listening to it because it's their favorite anime, or they just want to hear an English version of something. But at some point, I just asked Twitter for their favorite animes, and they gave me their openings, and I mashed it together, and it was so much fun. After like 5 years of making YouTube, that was the first time that I ever just like, I
Like,
felt
why
like,
the fuck did I not made this before?
yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's a lot of time, but like, it's a lot of love also put into this. Because if you have fun, or if you're actually proud of putting out what you did, it's such a great feeling to actually get the comments, look at the whatever people thought that it sounded like, or.
I wish get a lot of comments like you. I don't get a lot of comments.
But yeah, do you guys want to play one of them?
Yeah, which one do you want me to play?
Choose 1, 2, or 3. 7. Do we have a 7? All right, 2
You want to
then.
do
No.
no,
Do you know
no.
what a mashup is?
There's-
Oh, number 2 mashup. Okay.
It's been a while.
If I pass it, let me know.
And if you don't want to try a style of the music that you want to cover or remix, just stick with the original style. And then
Maybe-
if you don't like it, then try something else.
Maybe you can tell the animes by, I mean, it's in English, in German, and in Japanese. So like, maybe you can recognize the openings. It's just one instrumental from a really great, my favorite Japanese like artist. It's Eve. You don't need to know Eve, but he's really great. And it's just anime openings like.
It's like a game now. Try to recognize all the lyrics
Okay.
in the song.
Do it. Wow, this turned off.
How do we turn this back on?
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna have to replay.
you gotta, no, it's the phone, not this. Oh my lord. Just yell what anime it is. Don't do it.
Can anyone guess the anime?
Angel Beats. That's not an anime, but what is it?
You're killing us.
Panic at the Disco.
Panic at the Disco.
Okay, hold on. Now this one. Yeah. Which one is it? Tell me. It's Gambino, my boy. Stay woke, everyone. Yeah.
Any guesses?
It's Kill la Kill.
We love you all, but god damn.
There's not enough weebs in this room.
That's Eve again. Okay, now this one is a nostalgic one. Samurai Shampoo. Does anyone know it?
I thought this was Attack on Titan.
No. That's a band. It's Radio. It's a Japanese band. All right, this is Vocaloid now.
I just want the last part. This is the whole
That's Sand Planet from Hatsune Miku. That's a Vocaloid song again. It's not just anime. Okay, now the best one. If you don't guess this one, you need to leave the room. Okay, that was it. That was it.
It was. What do you want, Ralph?
But yeah, that was like the first time ever to actually like have fun with. Plus, especially when you just stick with one song with a TV size, which is like 1 minute 30 seconds, and you take maybe like 4 to 5 hours to record everything and mix everything, and sticking with one song gets really boring really fast. Which is why I thought I'll just intertwine a lot of songs that I actually like, and I just mix up, don't sing the same thing over and over again. And I can finish one of those mashups in like also in 3 to 4 hours, because it's so much fun though.
It's funny because I told you this weekend. Your very first mashup, like the thing, I was like, Jenny, I love your music, and I love that first mashup. Like, did you make the instrumental to it, and like how did you make that like combination? And she says, oh, it's just one song, and then it's a bunch of different song lyrics. They had to pick up my jaw from the freaking floor. And I want to touch on that just because it's like, yeah, it's a cover, but you made it your own in such a unique way, which I think kind of touches on why people like covers. Because, yeah, it's something that someone else made, but someone molded it into their own thing, which is why we have people like Jenny who are so awesome and successful. So, yeah, exactly.
Also, as disclosure, and this is for a lot of people who wants their music published online and maybe monetize it and whatnot. Remix covers, they fall in the same category as covers. Remix, as weird as it may sound, it's still considered as a cover music because it's not yours. You're just making something out of it. It's already pre-existing. Your remix is a cover. Don't try to like sugarcoat it or whatnot. Your remix is a cover music. It just sounds cool that it's a remix. It sounds a little weird when it's a cover, but to her, a cover is a cover, but her cover can also be called a remix because you literally just heard like 9 songs in one song. So it's still considered a remix, but it falls under the category of covers. Yes.
I can relate to, sorry if this was asked already. I was just curious when you guys were getting started, what did you find was the best way to meet other people doing the same thing and to advertise your work?
Well, so I started, I made a YouTube channel to watch stuff that was for, 18-year-olds, because I was 13 and I really wanted a channel to watch stuff
Adult
that I wasn't
stuff.
supposed to watch.
Hey now.
So I had that, like, I didn't really do anything. I created it in 2011, and then Attack on Titan came out. And the opening starts with, the German, "Wir sind das Essen", and I thought, I'm German. I can sing that.
She's
So-
actually full German, so yeah.
And I downloaded Audacity for free, and I just used my headset, my really bad, like, it wasn't even a gaming headset, it was just a really bad, cheap headset, and I just recorded it full in German, though, because I couldn't speak any word of English, and I uploaded it without knowing anyone, technically, like. The thing is, when you start out, my goal was to cover as much ground as possible. Like, I was still in high school. I had so much time on my hands, or middle school. I don't know. The German school system is a little wonky, but I had a lot of time on my hands, and I really wanted to just like cover a lot of anime that I currently watch, because for me it was something new, and you in 2013 there weren't a lot of people that did that, especially in German, because I don't know. I don't know if any of you would actually listen to a German cover, because it's a language that you probably don't hear as much, and most of the people think it sounds angry. So, but yeah, especially the German community, there were like, when I started, like 2 or 3 other people that did that, but also stick to German, so they never actually saw much more than the German community. But I noticed that, you know, I can reach many more people if I just do it in English. Your question was how to reach out to people, right? Well, I didn't really have anyone for like the first few years. Actually, I met a fan, Seji. I'm still really good friends with her. She also did Vocaloid covers in English, and she does musical stuff and all that stuff. And she basically followed me. I followed her. We talked about butts. We talked about Vocaloid. We talked about Rin and Len, because she's a fangirl. You can't. Her room is just Rin and Len. We talked about yaoi, and that was what intertwined us.
I think it's like finding interests, same
Yeah.
interests. with
Something
people.
that helps me, or it helped me, that my mentor taught me. It's gonna sound really cheesy. I assure you, it's true though. Don't be a dick.
Yes.
Like, no, seriously, being like a genuinely like nice, respectful person is gonna get you farther and more respect than pretty much anything else. I say that from experience. I say that from other people's experience. Obviously, that's not to say that anyone here is like a dick or whatever, but it's -1. But like it. A lot of people think it's like, oh, I need a certain software, or I need to like reach this level. Like, nah. If you're like, I recently got like a small acting gig on a really prominent YouTube channel. Can't say which because NDAs. But the reason that happened was because I was just nice to the guy and befriended him. It's like, obviously don't be a friend with someone to use them, but like that's what got me somewhere. Yes, my acting and vocal skills got me that part, but what got me there, like if I was just like, yo, give me that part, the fuck, dude? No, it's not gonna happen. So if you're just a respectful person, good things will happen, even if it takes a little
Plus,
time.
don't be shy. You are on the internet. You won't ever actually
You
face
can't
this
see you.
person. I mean, that's also a bad side from the internet, because, you know, you can literally say whatever you want and no one will ever know that you said it. But that's another excuse to actually just go ham and talk to everyone.
And
As
then-
a physical like thing you can do, which I would recommend reaching out, is do open mics. Just do a lot of open mics. It doesn't matter where it is, in a bar, in a club, or whatever. If you're trying to put out your stuff out there, do a lot of open mics. I got known for doing one open mic in Philly when I still lived in New Jersey. Someone introduced me to a chiptune community called 8 Static, and this was like 6 or 7 years ago. I went there and my dude was like, "Yeah, you should like sign up for open mic." I'm like, "I didn't write anything yet." It was like in 2 days. I wrote a chiptune cover of Toho Project's Bad Apple, and I went to the open mic. I went third, and on the line. And I wasn't expecting a lot of people to like it, but as soon as I got off the stage, everyone started like, "Yo, dude, what's your SoundCloud channel?" I'm like, what's that? Like, I just, but once you know where to start, like coffee houses, I would love to play at a coffee house. That's like the chillest. That's like lo-fi stage right there. Like that's the extreme lo-fi like setting is a coffee house while it's raining. So.
Oh.
What?
But yeah, just like even if you can't do it, you can always ask your friends to reach out for you. Like, yo, I know a friend that does a lot of vocal music. I know a friend that does the YouTubes or whatever. And you know, if you need something, hit them up. Here's their information. Help your friends out. If you know anyone that does something, if your friends like they're just, you know, socially shy or awkward or whatnot, help them out. It helps them quite a lot. So
Plus,
Just-
I mean, nowadays it's also, if we're talking about YouTube and reaching out to people, people care a lot about numbers nowadays. So even if you start out now, on one hand, there's probably a lot of people that want to do the same thing as you do, but like, just try to make it your own and try to gather people in.
don't look at numbers.
No, yeah, it's
Numbers are stupid.
I mean, you still got to go through a lot of, like, if you're messaging someone to collab, they're probably not gonna answer if they see that you have maybe like.
But
a
you're taking
handful.
a step, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. If you take no steps, you don't move anywhere. So even if it's a small step,
Just don't be discouraged if it doesn't work out. At some point, they're probably gonna what is it called? Regret that they didn't answer you, or just they're overall probably gonna feel they probably saw the message. That's the thing. Even if you're big on YouTube, we still get the messages. We still see them. If we just don't reply, that's just a dick move.
Jenny
And-
and I are friends, and she never responds to my messages.
It's true. Yeah, so, but you just gotta get through it.
yeah, I hope that answered your question. So.
That was a really long
Oh,
answer
also,
for
if-
just a few seconds.
That was a great question. Let's
And
give
if
a
you
round
guys-
of applause for that.
If you guys are like getting bored or whatnot, or you guys want to leave, make sure to grab some stickers over there before you guys leave.
Wow, we have such a cool setup right there.
I know. Yes. Does anyone else have any questions or? Yeah, go
Anything
ahead.
YouTube related, maybe?
Yeah. Do you have anything YouTube related?
No, but that's fine.
Talking about how remixes and covers fall into the same category as covers.
Mm-hmm.
What about music? What about sampling?
Sampling is still cover because you didn't make that sample. It's still someone else's, unless you have a distributor like Sounddrop or DistroKid, and you can prove to them, like, let's say you bought like a TR drum machine or a synthesizer, and you created your own kick drums and whatnot, and you're trying to sell it. You can go through DistroKid or Sounddrop or any distributor that you want and just have proof that you recorded those samples and you're using those samples that you made as samples on your track that you can claim as yours. Then at that point, but if the whole music is not yours to begin with, it's still a cover. Unless every single thing there is proven with copyright and claim that all the samples that you did are your samples, still a cover music. And don't be discouraged. Like, a lot of people just think that like cover, like to her, cover, if you say cover music, it's like gold mine. But for remixers, like myself, if you say, oh, that's just a cover, a lot of people get discouraged by the idea. Oh, no, it's a remix. No, dude, it's a fucking cover. It is a cover because you are doing something with someone else's music. So don't ever claim it that it's yours, because that's where the hammer of authority comes into play.
And that's why there's also places like DistroKid that basically help you put stuff up on Spotify and iTunes and all that jazz. For example, I could never actually upload that mashup on Spotify or anywhere. Even if people really ask me to do that, I can't. It's not my instrumental. I don't own these songs. I might own the trans lyrics or whatever I wrote for it, but
if there's no way for you to prove that it's yours, then don't. Just don't.
yeah. I wouldn't even earn that much money. I would probably put more money on getting sued than actually,
Making.
yeah. And plus, covering or overall YouTube isn't really a gold mine, as you said. It's
No.
really
When
not.
you say the word cover, it's good for cover artists. But if you say a cover to
Oh.
a remixer, it's kind of like, oh, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, did someone have a question back there earlier? Or? Oh, you answered it already. All right, cool.
Good job, Ralph.
Um,
I'm sorry. Good job, Jenny.
Can you
Who's
open that
Ralph?
again? Can you open that again, please, for YouTube? We're gonna
So-
try to do a tiny game where someone will name an anime and see if she has already covered it, because she has a fuck ton of covers.
It's not true.
All right, this.
Let's play. Name an anime.
Not that one. You already played
It's
one.
so off.
Can someone like name an anime and see if she already covered it? No.
I did in the mashup,
Yeah, in a mashup.
and I also put Linkin Park in there. So we can listen to that too.
Which one is that?
I think that's number one.
Yeah, it's the one that he was talking about that he thought was real. Okay, let's do the anime quiz again, because now we're in this together.
So the instrumental is No Game No
What
Life.
You don't play along anymore. yeah, this was the first time trying out this version of covering. I basically asked Twitter and I got like 100 replies and I tried to mash them all up in one.
Anybody?
All right.
What is it? Spoiler, this isn't an anime.
No one knows that. It's Kingdom Hearts.
It's Sanctuary.
I think that's JoJo. It's Bloody Stream, I think.
Bloody Stream.
Yeah.
Best anime. Best anime.
No, I don't know the anime.
Oraimo.
That also proves that most of the music is chord progression-wise the same, or it fits into one another, which is also why making music, I don't know, it's low-key easy, because it's always...
But once you find like songs that have the same key, you don't know which one to use. That's the problem. Yeah.
But I just want to show that you can literally mash up Deja Vu with any anime opening, okay? That should
Challenge
be your goal.
accepted.
And Initial D apparently.
Hold up. In the newest one, I put...
Oh, are you ready for like the gem of gems here?
I put Running in the 90s in that too, okay? It was good. I thought it was good. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry for using your data. That's No
Pay
More
me back later.
Heroes, if anyone knows the game. Or games. Alright. I put some nostalgic animes in there.
How many animes are in this?
10.
10 from a single instrumental.
Soul Eater. I think. Yeah. Tokyo Ghoul.
You get it. Props. Yeah.
Well, that's the original song. Like, it fits perfectly on a Japanese song, okay? That's a Vocaloid song. All right, what else? There's another Initial D track in here too. That's Bad Apple in German. That's another Vocaloid song.
It does sound angry. It does sound angry.
That's the original song again. And now,
Yeah, make sure you guys grab stickers. They're really good stickers.
YMCA.
Too.
All the boys.
Hey now.
That's Gintama. And now wait for it. Now, oh. No!
Why did it play?
That's Evangelion.
I didn't do that.
I did rap god in this one too. So, but it's not as serious. Okay.
Okay, I have one last one, okay?
It was so funny. I
Sounds
couldn't.
just like you, Jenny.
Boop, boop, boop. All the people from the to the back. It was too fast for me, so. And that's the original again, so. You can turn it. You could do.
Just try to have fun with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what. Yeah.
Just keep going. Don't stop. And
What did the guy say?
he walked away when I started walking toward him.
I mean, is the next panel here?
Thank you.
You
are
see,
the next
we
panel.
weren't lying.
What?
I'm like, oh, me too. Actually, I'll stay here because I feel rude now.
I think we
What
can.
is the next panel? Does anyone know?
Yes, go ahead. Question. Let's keep going. If they're not fucking here, fuck it. Whatever. Lo-fi music. It's the lo-fi and cover music, why it's good and why everyone likes it.
The panel or the channel? My channel.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's Unreachable.
It's the letter
just,
X.
Just type in Jenny and maybe Evangelion or anime.
Yeah,
or
Jenny
anything,
Evangelion, and you'll see it.
and I'll pop up.
The channel's called X Unreachable with 2 E's.
And 2 Y's and 2.
I can make this really simple. Search Unreachable space Jenny,
Yeah.
and you'll see a really cute anime girl logo.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one's
I
beautiful.
just listened to
That's like
that
one of my
recently.
favorite.
4.
Hey now.
Hey,
I
now
want
you're
to
an
play.
all-star.
I want to play Smash.
Get your game on. Go play.
Oh, yeah,
all right.
You're good. You're good, dude.
Let's give it
Thank
up
you
for the
so
guy
much.
for giving us his Bluetooth speaker.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you so much, man.
Anyone else have questions before you go? Grab some stickers, and
Cool.
they're really good stickers too, by the way. Like quality. Thank you guys for coming.
That's a
We
really
really
nice
do
shirt.
appreciate it.
One
Lot
last
of
applause
blinky
for
blink.
Jenny and Ralph.
Yeah.
Why am I clapping? Okay.
Why are we clapping?
Thank you so much. It was really nice. Especially because we were just a tiny group.
Unplanned too, but whatever. It was great.
Woo.
Thank you guys.